All right, let's talk about the disaster with the Brooklyn Nets. On Sunday, they make a trade. They trade Kyrie Irving to the Dallas Mavericks for Spencer Dinwiddie and Dorian Finney-Smith and two second-round picks. And 4 days later, they trade Kevin Durant to the Phoenix Suns for Jay Crowder, Mikal Bridges, Kim Johnson, and four first-round picks. Whoa, man! I mean, this is crazy. It was a disaster in Brooklyn, and I don't know what on how do they recover from this. I mean, somebody has got to go. Maybe it might be GM Sean Marks, but just this was it seemed promising from the get go, even though you know I don't know. I kind of felt like Durant wanted to go to the Knicks. They were criticizing the Knicks ownership and the way they do things, but they went to the Nets, and it turns out like this. So I mean, it was just always something with the Nets. I think it started off with that weird hiring Steve Nash to be the head coach. That kind of seemed kind of from left field and doing things unorthodox. And that seemed like that didn't work out. He just didn't know what he was doing. That's nothing against Steve. He's a NBA Hall of Famer, but he just with certain players you gotta for lack of a better word, put your foot in there. You got to let them know who's in charge and what we doing here and how we gonna handle business here. And he just never seemed like he could do that. I don't think he cared about having confrontation. And with a guy like Kyrie Irving, he's just going, he's going to be like a damn dog when he sees meat or something. He's going to take advantage of that. And that's exactly what happened, from the COVID incident, from needing time away because he's going through. It was just always something with Kyrie Irving. And it seemed like nothing was said. Hell, half the time, I don't even think Steve Nash knew. Or what was he going to do if he did know? So talking about him in practice and taking shots at him in the media, and it just seemed like there was never no respect for Steve Nash. That was a red flag right there. It seemed like it just wasn't a good matchup. I don't know, and I kind of feel bad for Jock Vine because he's in a kind of tough spot now where he has to, take over this team, and there's really no expectations now. I think they're going to slide out of the playoffs in the East and but he does have some, good perimeter players. The young guys get to play more, so you get to see what you can get out of those guys. And it just was just a total disaster. Like I said, trading for Ben Simmons, and it's like it just seems like I don't know. I don't think he loves the game. I think he loves what the game provides him. You see him over there in them Louis Vuitton jackets and shirts when he's not playing. So I think he loves what the NBA provides for him. But does he actually love NBA? I think that was another bad trade. I think you could have got something better for James Harden for a guy who's kind of got things going on in his head and doesn't like the pressure. And so I think you could have got something better for Harden. He wanted out. Like I said, I think him and Kyrie had issues. He kind of thought it was favoritism, and you're not doing anything that goes back to Nash, not putting his foot down and letting Kyrie get away with things, and that kind of ran him off. So you got Kyrie now in Dallas. You got Kevin Durant now in Phoenix. I think they both are in better situations. Maybe they might be better apart. Who knows? But it seems like Kyrie has this issue with every team he goes to. He'll find something wrong with Dallas. And, I think ultimately he wants to get to LA, maybe, play for, the franchise that Kobe Bryant played for, reunite with LeBron James, which seems like the only superstar he's played with who he respects enough to, listen to and follow and, let him run the ship. So I think, but we'll see. It'll be fun for this last, half of the season with Dallas to see how that goes. I want to talk about Kevin Durant to Phoenix though. I think KD, he just wants to play ball, and sometimes you can like somebody and just not like working with them. I mean, let's be honest here. I mean, how many people you like as a person? I want to hang out with you. I love you. I love playing with you. But sometimes I just don't like working with you. You show up late. You half do your job. You know, always an issue with other coworkers. Like I said, outside the job, I like you. Working together, it just didn't work. It just didn't work. And that's how it was with Kyrie. I think Kevin still loves him, might be one of his best friends, but sometimes you don't want to work. You shouldn't work with your friends. You know, sometimes it just you separate those things. We work together. I like you, but you know, and then we best friends outside the course. So I can work with my people who I'm cool with, who I can, I got good chemistry working with, and then I got good chemistry outside of work with. So you got to separate those two things. Sometimes it's not best to be up under your best friend all the time. It's like, you start finding out things that might annoy me. Damn, I don't like the way he come to work every day or the way he do his job. So it's like, you don't want to mess up that friendship. You got to separate those things. I think Kevin should never left Golden State to begin with. And if he was gonna leave Golden State, like I said, if you're gonna come to New York, you might as well go to the Knicks. But like I said, he just wanted to play ball, play with his best friend, his homeboy, and he ended up in this situation with Brooklyn, which thank God Brooklyn did him right, and sent him to a contender where he can win. They could have been petty and selfish and be like, or not necessarily selfish, but they could have been petty, like, hey, you still under 3-year contract. You gonna play for us, and and that's it. But they sent him to a team where he can, he's 34 years old and has a chance to win. And I think this makes the Suns the best team in the West. And I was a guy a couple of months ago. I thought the Suns' window of opportunity had closed. I didn't think I thought their chance to win the championship was the last 2 years when they lost to Giannis and the Bucks 2 years ago, and when they lost to the Mavericks in the playoffs. I thought their window was shut. But I mean, getting Kevin Durant, that opens that opportunity right back up. I think he fits right with them. He's got a little relationship with Monty Williams, and they were able to keep, Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton. So they didn't have to give up neither one of those to get Kevin Durant. So I think this is a great trade. I think this makes Phoenix the best team in the West. I know it might take a little time to get the chemistry together because Booker was injured, so he's just now coming back. Durant's going to be out to after the All Star game, so you got to kind of get those guys in and try to make this push, the last, 20 to 25 games of the season, maybe even less than that when Durant finally does play. But I think they got good veterans on the team. I think they still, got, one of the best leaders in the game, Chris Paul. So I think he can make it all mesh. And like I said, they're able to get TJ Warren also. They still got a little depth on their bench too. So I think this is going to work out well. I think this makes the Suns the best team in the West. But you don't win championships on paper. It's got to come together, and the West is loaded. I still think Denver's good. I think Memphis is gonna find a way to finally get it together. Kyrie and Luka's gonna be tough. You still got the Clippers. So, I'm not counting out the Warriors. Once Curry comes back, they still got that experience. They know how to win games. It's just that simple. So I'm never gonna count them out. But right now, I think the Suns are the best team in the West right now. But it's got to come together on the court. Durant's been traded. Kyrie is traded. It's just a disaster in Brooklyn. It's going to be interesting to see where they go from here. They got some young players they can build around. Maybe Ben Simmons might play better with Durant and Irving gone. I don't know. We'll see. Also, another trade. Russell Westbrook was traded in a three-team deal with the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Utah Jazz. And I'm wondering to myself, is this the end for Russell Westbrook? I mean, the chemistry from the get go didn't work with the Lakers because he needs the ball. LeBron needs the ball. Westbrook isn't the best shooter in the world. So it just didn't work out. It just didn't work out. And it just seemed like they never could get on track. They always, last year they struggled having a losing record. This year they have a losing record, and it just seemed like this team would be so much better, but it just didn't work out. So Russell Westbrook is on the move, and I think he's going to be bought out in Utah. So I'm wondering, like, who's going to take a chance on Russell Westbrook? I think Russell will want to go to a team where he, is going to be in the playoffs and at least be competing. So I look at somebody like, would you want to go east or would you stay west? I mean, Miami Heat, I think would be interesting. I think he can go down there. I think he would fit their culture as far as coming out playing hard every night. And Spoelstra's got that championship has that championship pedigree where he's been there and done that before. I think Westbrook would listen to him and Pat Riley and come off the bench. And he's got Jimmy Butler and he's got some of those guys, tough guys for him. I think Miami might be the best fit. He might want to stay in LA and go to the Clippers. I don't know if I quite think the Clippers are a good fit because I feel like they need like a point guard. They need somebody like a Rajon Rondo or a John Stockton or a Jason Kidd. They need a point guard that's going to not shoot, not score first, have a high basketball IQ, get them the ball, let them make plays. I think they need that kind of point guard. I don't think Westbrook is a good fit, but who knows? Everybody's making moves. You never know what it is. But Russell Westbrook traded, Kevin Durant traded, Kyrie Irving traded. The NBA is doing big business. It's getting exciting. This Western Conference is going to be loaded. I'm looking very excited to those matchups in the playoffs.